Welcome to Traveling Kangaroo. Welcome to a journey through a side of Iran most people never see. From deserts that reach temperatures hotter than anywhere else on Earth, to rainforests older than the Amazon. From red-sanded islands that look like another planet to ancient cities carved into mountains, Iran is a land of extremes, surprises, and hidden beauty. Stay with me for the next 10 minutes, and I'll take you through the most majestic landscapes and hidden gems this extraordinary country has to offer. Imagine an island whose beaches bleed red into a turquoise sea, a desert so hot satellites recorded ground temperatures above 70 degrees Celsius, and forests that have been growing since before mammals ruled the planet. Iran packs all that and more into one country. We begin in the south, move through deserts and ancient cities, climb its highest volcano, and finish in primeval forests and mountain strongholds. By the end, you'll see why Iran refuses to fit into any single story. Keshem Island sits in the Persian Gulf, long, raw, and startlingly otherworldly. Here, the Valley of the Stars carves the night into jagged silhouettes, wind-sculpted rock that looks like an alien ruin. Walk through Chaku Canyon and feel the sudden cool pools of rainwater collect in natural basins, tiny oases where desert life clings to survival. Keshem's Hara mangroves rise from saltwater at low tide, a living maze that feeds egrets and crabs and shows how life adapts to harsh shores. Few tourists reach Keshem, which means you'll find landscapes that feel undiscovered and utterly photogenic. A short boat ride away lies Hormuz, a volcanic palette of reds, yellows, and purples. The island's red beaches get their color from iron-rich soil that bleeds into the surf, creating a shoreline that looks like a piece of Mars washed ashore. Inland, mineral-streaked hills glow like layered paint. Locals even use the red mineral as a spice, a delicious reminder that geology here is part of daily life. Hormuz is tiny, but its colors stay with you long after you leave. Now shift your focus east to the Dasht-e-Lut, one of Earth's most extreme deserts. NASA satellites registered ground temperatures as high as 70.7 degrees Celsius on a black basalt plain called Gandam Baryan. Asphalt would melt under that kind of heat. Yet despite the brutality, life persists. Salt-loving microbes in hidden niches, nomads eking out ancient livelihoods, and wind-carved kalutes, colossal ridges that look like the ruins of a vanished city. Dasht-e-Lut is not just heat, it's an invitation to reconsider what living landscapes can be. From hostile desert to ingenious desert architecture, Yazd is a city built to outsmart the sun. Its mud brick lanes hold centuries of quiet knowledge, qanats that channel groundwater for miles, and badgers or wind catchers that funnel every breath of air into homes to cool them naturally. In Yazd, you can stand in an alley where the temperature drops simply because the street was designed with centuries of climate wisdom. The city also preserves Zoroastrian traditions, including a fire temple that embodies a continuous cultural flame in a changing world. Nearby, Kerman offers another desert contrast. An ancient Silk Road hub, Kerman's bazaars still sell woven carpets and pistachios alongside centuries of history. From here you can reach the Lutz Kalutz in a day, moving seamlessly from civilization into a landscape that feels like another planet. Then there is Shiraz poetry, roses, light, and ruins. Stroll the gardens where Hafez and Saadi once walked and feel why Persian poetry still softens the hardest traveler's heart. At sunrise, the Nasr al-Mulk Mosque, the Pink Mosque, lights up in kaleidoscopic color as sunlight pours through stained glass. Nearby, the mirrored interiors of Shah Cheragh catch light like a million little stars. Step beyond Shiraz to Persepolis, the ceremonial heart of the Achaemenid Empire. Massive stone stairways, bas-reliefs of delegations bearing tribute, and guardians carved in high relief tell a story of a civilization that ruled from the Balkans to the Indus. Persepolis was burned by Alexander, but its silence still speaks power. Isfahan is where Persian architecture reads like poetry in tile and turquoise. Naqsh-e-Jahan Square is perfectly proportioned, a deliberate exercise in balance and beauty. The Shah Mosque, Sheikh Lotfullah, the Ali Kapu Palace, and the Sayosi Pol Bridge create a civic ensemble that feels curated by time itself. In Isfahan, every curve and tile seems designed to slow you down and make you notice how exquisite detail can become public art. Kashan offers intimate glimpses into domestic history. Inside the Borujerdi and Tabatabai houses, stained glass and internal courtyards refract soft color across rooms built to preserve privacy and comfort in a harsh climate. Walk their rooftop wind catchers and imagine a city cooled by design long before electricity. Tehran is modern Iran traffic, skyscrapers, museums, and a metro system pulsing with daily life. In the Golestan Palace, mirrored halls and ornate thrones recall the Qajar Empire's grandeur. The National Treasury shows crown jewels and royal symbols behind heavy security, while the Alborz Mountains frame the city. And from their heights, a different Iran reveals itself. Towering above that skyline is Damavand, Iran's highest peak and the tallest volcano in Asia at 5,610 meters. It's a snow-capped icon visible for miles, and the mountain pulses with legend. Persian epics mention Damavand. Modern climbers measure its beauty and hazards. The summit often steams with faint fumaroles, a reminder that even dormant giants are not entirely silent. Perched on a cliff above a misty valley sits Alamut Castle, the mountain fortress once controlled by the Nizari Ismailis, the group known in medieval chronicles as the Assassins. Walk the steep approach and you'll find ruined walls, elliptical watch platforms, and a view that explains why fortresses here were built for secrecy and surprise. In the valleys below, farming villages tend orchards and maintain rhythms unchanged for generations. Head north and the country's face changes again. The Caspian coast is humid, green, and productive. Rice paddies, tea gardens, and palm trees replace sand and dust. Towns like Ramsar and Bandar Anzali pulse with sea breezes and local markets stacked with smoked fish and pickles. Inland, the Hyrcanian forests extend like an ancient lung across the mountainsides. Temperate broadleaf woods that have persisted for more than 50 million years. These forests are living fossils, beech, oak, and unique species that once covered vast northern continents. UNESCO recognized their global value. Walking there feels like stepping into prehistory. Hidden inside those woods is Rudkin Castle, an over 700-meter climb through mist and waterfall to a fortress whose walls stretch for kilometers. Its moss-covered stonework and repeated watchtowers feel like someone stitched a defensive line into the hillside. The hike is a reminder that Iran's forts were not just monuments. They were practical defensive landscapes woven into nature. Nearer to Iran's volcanic northwest sits Kandavan, a village of cone-shaped homes scooped from volcanic tuff. This is not a museum. Families live in these rock houses now, just as their ancestors did. The stone stabilizes temperature naturally, cool in summer and warm in winter, and the community still follows traditions around springs that locals call healing. Kandavan feels like a set piece from a fantasy film, but it's real life anchored to geology. In the northwest, Tabriz offers the taste of a crossroads. The historic bazaar of Tabriz is a covered labyrinth of vaulted corridors and trading halls, a commercial city squeezed into stone, where spices, rugs, and copperware move through the same lanes that merchants used for centuries. The Blue Mosque preserves traces of tilework that once shone with turquoise brilliance, even after earthquakes and time. And finally, Urmia Lake, once a giant inland sea, and now an environmental warning. The lake lost most of its water in recent decades because of dams, irrigation, and climate pressure. What remains are salt flats, scarred piers, and a coastline that sometimes glows a brilliant red from salt-loving organisms. Flamingos still return in seasons, but the picture is sobering, a fossil of a lake that once dominated the region's ecosystem. Restoration efforts are ongoing, but Urmia's story is a reminder of how delicate landscapes can change fast. If you look back over this journey, one thing becomes clear. Iran refuses to be summarized by a single image. It's a country of seismic contrasts, ancient forests and steaming deserts, mountain fortresses and mirrored shrines, island palettes of mineral color and modern, bustling cities. It is older than many civilizations and younger than any one stereotype. So what does this mean for you, the traveler? It means Iran offers layered experiences, extreme wilderness for adventure seekers, subtle cultural moments for lovers of history and poetry, and quiet villages where time seems to flow at a different pace. Plan regionally: the south for islands and deserts, the center for ancient cities and architectural wonders, the north for forests and cool escapes. Pack for contrast: light clothing for the lowlands, warm layers for high mountains, and a camera that won't stop clicking. If you enjoyed this tour of Iran's majestic landscapes and hidden gems, make sure you don't miss what's next from Traveling Kangaroo. Subscribe to Traveling Kangaroo, follow us on social media for behind-the-scenes content, and visit travelingkangaroo.com for maps, itineraries, and resources to plan your own trip. Thanks for watching, and until the next adventure, Keep exploring with Traveling Kangaroo.